And now we're on. All right. So, my friends on YouTube, now you understand, right? Right? Now you understand the power gap, right? The market. I'm sorry. I thought I actually was recording this earlier. How are you again? Talking. I forget that I gotta get all my social media things. I do a thing on TikTok and then I go on Facebook and then I go on Twitter and I forget what I've said to who. So I'll just say it again. The market never fucking goes down. All right. You get it now? You get it now? Today is, you wouldn't think by looking at it right now, but today is the number one day in trading. Better than April 9th. And yeah, you know what? Today is better than April 9th. What happened April 9th? What, you don't remember April 9th? Way back on April 9th where Trump said buy stocks now and we had a 12.5% candle? Yeah. This day is better than that day. You want to know why? Because today, confirmation of bias, you waited for it and then it happened, right? So my bias is obviously don't short stocks, the market's never going down, right? And today you had some red on the screen. And as I put in my opening email this morning, look how cute the market is trying to pretend that it's going to go down. Let me tell you one more time. We power gapped 3 times, people. We power gapped. And on Monday, we power gapped above what was going to be probably a month long of resistance, and we power gapped above it. We can't go down now. No go down. No go down. Power gap. Power gap and go. Power gap and go. So when you come in during a bull market on a Thursday, Thursdays are normally what? Kind of choppy, usually consolidating the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday bullishness. But what also do we know in a bull market? Consolidation leads to more ups, right? So today, when you came in, you're like, oh, you know, some of the bears, the ones that are still out there, well, I'm going to leg into a short, or more importantly, the bears that are trapped like rats, like I used to be, scrambling right now. Since Monday, what do? I just got power gapped. They were supposed to cover last week because Thursday and Friday of last week set them up. Thursday and Friday, when we paused, this is it. I knew the market was going to run out of steam, and it did. Only to power gap in your face on Monday. Now, I don't appreciate that Trump didn't give us a little bit of heads up, but he kind of did. He told us to buy stocks. He said it's going to be a big announcement, and that actually wasn't the announcement. The announcement was that he was getting rid of habeas corpus, and he was declaring himself a dictator. But that was the news. If you guys, again, he just says he's going to have big news, and he just blah, 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 blah. Anyway, we're living in a demented world. But more importantly, the April 9th candle, he did say, buy stocks now. And then he canceled the tariffs, and the market had to do a reset, right? But that reset traps the bears, right? And I've explained this now. I'm going to explain it one more time. When the market starts going up, the crash is past tense. It's already happened. The bears think, oh, the market's crashed, and now it's only going to get worse from here. Never gets worse. Never gets worse. This isn't 1929. We're not at 35% unemployment. Nothing's getting worse. It's all algorithmic bullshit. The market was going to crash anyway this year because it rallies and rallies and rallies. The correction becomes a crash every once in a while. Oh, it's just a mild correction. And then everybody gets complacent. No, it's just a mild correction. Next thing you know, we crash. Oh my God, we crashed. Now what do we do? Buy. That's what you do. Right? If you haven't noticed, there are no unprecedented events, even though it felt well, the president's crashing the market. That seems pretty unprecedented. Yeah, well, we lived through a goddamn pandemic. That was pretty damn unprecedented. We still lived through that. You remember 2008, 2009, right? Remember when we had a real catastrophe? The one that you still should be protesting out there, my liberal psychotic friends? You want to go protest something? Protest the fact that terrorists are still parading around our country with terrorist costumes on. That's your first protest. But your second protest is go back to the fact that your tax money, remember, that's what everybody complains. Oh, my tax money getting used to do this shit, right? That's what Elon Musk was here to protect us from, all the fraud, all that fraud and all that stuff. Oh, I found all this fraud. There was a fraud committed in 08 and 09 that the banks were complicit with. Remember, the banks, they were to blame because they created the products, right? But who's to really blame? Remember, if you're a gangster, you guys remember Donnie Brasco? You're going to vouch for me. You're going to vouch for this guy. He's fucking Donnie Brasco. You're going to vouch. You vouch for a guy, and that guy turns out to be a cop. Who they killing first? You! You vouch for this guy. And he just fucked us. They can't find that guy. They're going to kill you. But no. We let the guy that vouched for the banks get away with crime. But we arrest Martha fucking Stewart. The real criminals got away with it. Right? Oh, everybody forgets, right? That's what they were hoping for. You should never forget. But you hate Trump so much, and listen, I have an unhealthy hatred of the guy. But you're out there protesting, oh, Trump took all our money. But then he gave it all back. Are you out there having a parade now? Not that he did anything, but correct the mistake that he made, and the market, by the way, never goes down. It was going to correct itself anyway. They just factored that shit in. Oh, man, we got some tariffs. All right, let's factor that stuff in. Check your spam, Audrey. Yeah, I mentioned the market being cute. I'll read it to you. Hold on a second. Let me read it to you. Hold on a second. I sent an email this morning, and it said something along the lines of, take a look at the market right now. Isn't it cute trying to pretend that it actually could go down? Wait, so let me see if I wrote it the right way. Sometimes I never read my own emails. Good morning, everybody. I hope you stayed long yesterday, took some profits with no reason. There's no reason to sell. We're seeing some red on the screen this morning. Isn't it cute? Look at the market trying to pretend that it's going to go down today. Chances are it's not going to go down. If you're in the queues, there's a level where we're going to have to sell, but we're nowhere near there. And the idea of going short right now is ridiculous. You know we're buying Walmart. We're buying Crossweave. Why? Because the market never goes down, and they're red. Do you think for a second they're going to stay red in a bull market where market never go down? There you go. Look at this email. Phenomenal. Something. We're still in the power gap. Your new favorite phrase. A lot of stocks are still in the power gap as well. There's a lot of shorts trapped there, and that's why the market can't go down. It's very difficult for a market to sell off its environment. That's why we're setting up for a long trades today. And you know why today was extra special? Because you got the faux show bro intraday, right? Because Monday sucked unless you came in long. We gapped we had a $2 pullback. That was the whole pullback. And we basically grinded back to the highs. There was nothing to do on Monday, right? We bought SRAD. Thank you. See, what did we learn about SRAD? Don't buy stocks going into the earnings reports because you can buy them the next day when they gap down and go back up. Right? By the way, look at the stock right now, $24. What's up? But more importantly, today is better than April 9th. Today, the only other day that was better than this day was the last faux show bro. Because the faux show bro, and I know you guys can't see my charts, but I'll show them to my friends here in the chat room and on the Hit the Bid website. The faux show bro confirms bullishness when we try to sell off. And that was around that remember the 562 area that was so vital at the time? And then we broke it, and then we came right back. That's a faux show. And then we gapped, another power gap, right? And I was like, oh, God, we're never going down. And then we tested the gap zone, and we wound up faux show broing into the Thursday, Friday boredom of last week, power gap again. So even if today didn't go green and turn out to be the greatest trading day of the year, we're still in the power gap, and we're going higher. So now every faux show bro, so when I say this again, I say this with love and affection. Let's assume today was your first day. Thank you for finally showing up. And you said, all right, fuckhead, you've been talking shit since 07 on YouTube. I couldn't get to your website. I'm finally retired. Let's make some magic happen. I'm finally here. What do you want me to do? And I would have said, buy Walmart, buy Crossweave, but most importantly, buy the Qs when they break multi-day VWAP with the $5 $18 calls for 85 cents. You know where they are now? $4. So your first trade with me would have been a monster on CoreWeave, 3 different times, by the way. Walmart, phenomenal. I mean, Walmart's gapping down in a bull market. You're not thinking about buying? Of course you are. Then it breaks VWAP. Confirmation of bias, right? What's also my confirmation of bias? It's happening right now. That's right, semiconductors. They're back, bitches. There's nothing you can do about it. Oh, wait for a pullback to buy. Sure, great. And you'll be waiting. Just like Tesla, right? Oh, I was waiting for a pullback to buy. 100 points later, I'm waiting for a pullback to buy. Good luck. All the way to 400. So remember, and that attitude, my friend, I'm waiting for a pullback to buy. That's why we can't go down, because everybody's waiting for a pullback to buy. To buy. And what are the shorts waiting to do? The shorts are praying for a pullback. To do what? To buy. Because they want to cover their shorts. So explain to me, if you can, how the market's going to go down when everybody's buying. The answer is, it's not. See that? Boom. Now you understand markets. And 18 months from now, or 3 years from now, or 7 years from now, and I'll probably still be doing this, and we're going to have this moment where there's something making the market go down and it gets all scary, and UVXY is going up in 30% increments. Holy shit. And everybody's calling it an unprecedented event. Don't forget this moment. Nothing's unprecedented. And when the unprecedented event is unprecedented and it really does end it all, we're all dead. Who gives a shit about your stocks? You heard about this asteroid coming to kill us? Yes. You know what a gamma ray burst is? Any day now. You know what a gamma ray burst is? Yeah, you do. Where's my astronomy majors in here? Gamma ray burst, right? When a mega red star goes supernova. You know what I'm talking about? Out there in the universe right now, there's going to be an explosion so enormous, right, that it wipes out galaxies. It's called a gamma ray burst. I'm not fucking with you right now. I went to school for this shit. And if it's close enough to our galaxy, it'll wipe us all out. They say it's inevitable. Even in the next galaxy, if a gamma ray burst has happened, the waves will wash over our entire galaxy and basically kill us all. It's coming. When that happens, then I don't really care where Tesla's going to be that night. I'll be hunkered down in my basement with my family, knowing we're all going to be melted. There is no such thing as an unprecedented event. And to my friend that said, oh, so you're the guy that's going to call the top in this volatility product in the first black swan unprecedented event in 10 years. Yeah, I guess I'm going to be that guy. And I guess I was. I was that guy. And if you watch me on StockTwits or follow me on StockTwits, and now I'm doing an hourly special, an hour on StockTwits every Tuesday on the homepage. Join me. You too would have been hip to this power gap conversation, but you should have been hip when I told it to you 2 weeks ago. We had 3 power gaps already. Sick. I don't think you're on our list then. Maybe you should rejoin. Yeah. I get it to both my email addresses, as a matter of fact. The whole market is in one big monstrous faux show. And now we're broing. Where are we going? We're broing. I mean, there's just confirmations of bullishness everywhere. You got sectors that are coming out of the doldrums, like solar, weed stocks even caught a bid. We ain't even in the dash for trash yet. When they start talking about blockbuster, that's when you know we're when you start seeing all the 20-cent stocks going to $5, that's truly the dash for trash. But you know what? The dash for trash is fun too. You guys like Hertz, right? Stock is garbage, but it came back down to support, right? And the last couple of days, it's starting to see some love. And today, confirmation of, just so many great trades out there, but nothing's going to beat the Qs, right? We still got 60 cents to go today at least, right? So 528 tomorrow, 540. I was thinking 540 tomorrow on a melt your freaking face off rally and just get it over with right to all-time highs. I still think it's going to happen. I'm long the Qs right now, and there's nothing anyone's going to do to get me out. Unless we roll over in, then again, we would have to break down. And it doesn't even matter because all I got is 520 calls. So if they expire worthless, it's not like I'm exposed to a $521 stock. You got a 1-minute multi-day VWAP collision at 518. I'd be shocked to even see 518 today. But if we do, maybe tomorrow won't have the big up day. But we're only now, I can't do math in my head anymore, but 10% would be 52 points. Half of 52 would be 26 points. 26 points tomorrow would get us to the 26 because it's 540. 26 is 5%. 10%, 5%, 3.5%, 2.5%. 2.5%, 2.5%, 2.5%. That's 24. Yeah, 2.5% tomorrow. 528.50 tomorrow. Maybe today. And then we're gapping up on Monday. So people that know what's going to happen, because you know it's going to happen, right? It's pre-programmed. We're going up Monday. Everybody knows we're going to be higher today, right? Again, unless Mothra does show up in Godzilla and all kinds of fucking hell breaks loose, Cloverfield shows up, Ebola starts melting people on the streets, or maybe I forgot what movie it was where you just got evaporated, or that was War of the Worlds. Fucking crazy shit goes on. Yeah, maybe we won't be up tomorrow or Monday. The participants who have really, truly appreciated that this whole market is pre-programmed, they know the market's going to be higher from where it is right this second, on Monday's close. It's already pre-programmed. So why not buy now? Exactly. There you go. Bull market. Right? So there's no bad place to be buying because we're going higher. Oh, is it a chase here? Nope. You're just risking a little bit more if it does pull back. Right now, now you're getting, now that we've ripped really the closest danger zone, I wouldn't even call it a danger zone because it's a reasonable pullback, is the 520.30, which is $1.20 from here. And then you have consolidation. You have a consolidation breakout. I don't see any way the market can go down. It's impossible. It's impossible right now. And I've been saying this now for 2.5 weeks. And then you got a gap above the 478. So 478, that's when I was like, all right, 492 is inevitable. We got the 492. We consolidated for 2 days and we power gapped. Now we're 521, 522. Where we're going? All-time highs. There's nothing left. There's nothing left for the market to accomplish. It's programmed. It's programmed. It's just the reason people don't make money as traders is that this 45 minutes of chop convince you otherwise. But when we're in a bull market, chop resolves itself to the upside. And if it would have resolved itself to the downside today, you would have said, oh, wow, today's a little different. I guess I'll sell here. Oh, wait, it's resolving itself to the upside. As expected, buy. And look, it was a very simple buy today. 517.50. You're buying 518 calls. I went out and bought some 520s for tomorrow, which I'm not selling. I'm in from $2.16. They're now at $4. Normally I'd be selling here, but why sell? These are going to be worth $12 tomorrow, maybe 40. And you got to let something run. Bull markets, less trading, more holding and watching. Like Walmart, you're not trading Walmart anymore. You're in. You're in. You're committed now. You're in. You're holding this overnight. You're not selling Walmart. You're looking for 100. The only time you would sell this stock is if it breaks down under 95, which I don't think you're going to see it under 95. But if you do, maybe you sell. You can always buy it back tomorrow. No reason to sell Walmart. You got yourself a faux show, bro. 1 minute multi-day VWAP break. We haven't even got to the reversal stage. We haven't even gone green yet. Wait till it goes green. Sick. By the way, great interview. I never watch myself on these interviews, but I think I did a pretty good job yesterday. You know, everybody seems to, it's funny. One of the commentators there, she was a new girl. She was like, it seems like just this all is just fake. I'm like, yes. Congratulations. It takes people usually years to realize, yes, if it is all fake, now you can appreciate it better. If you accept truly that it's all bullshit, then you really get to embrace the horror. Well, I say embrace the horror because I'm a bear and the market never goes down. And that's another thing about the shorters, right? So they miss the move, right? And that's why the shorters get all excited. Oh, the market crashed and then it rallies. They think, oh, now's my chance because it's going to crash again. It doesn't crash again. It builds from there and rips people's heads off. And then the same scenario plays out. Shorts are chasing the cover, longs want back in, and everyone's chasing to do what? Buy. And that is why we cannot go down. Shoo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Yeah. Can't go down. Won't go down. Never go down. So wait a minute. Where's the guy? Oh, by the way, I'm not saying negative, but one guy said, he's like, are you nuts? We're not going any higher from here. And you do this for a living? I'll take your apology. It's all right. I don't know if you were being tongue in cheek about that, but I'll take your apology. It's all right. It's all right to doubt. It's all right to doubt me. It's all right. Don't doubt market mechanics, right? I'm the best at reading the tea leaves. But again, today was just a confirmation of bias. I came in, there's no way I'm shorting stocks. So when I saw red on the screen, I'm thinking, just confirm my bias. Give me oh, there's the reason and buy. I'm never covering UVXY. I'm only in naked calls. I got nothing to worry about. No, all I got left is the 130s for January. They're at $1.20. I probably should get out. I sold some, my cost average is $8.50, and that's all you're gonna make. So I'm gonna go. I got a pack. I got a graduation. My son, remember, little dude hanging out right here on the desk way back when I started doing these videos. Graduating college Saturday. Taking Big Al and Babs with me. It's my mom. I will be around tonight with Big Al. So I was thinking maybe we interview Big Al for the schmooze tonight. I don't know if he wants to. He really would just tell you to buy the dip. But if I'm not around tonight, have a great night and a wonderful tomorrow. Fantastic weekend. And if I'm right, I think we legitimately could be at all-time highs on Monday. And if you think I've been fucking with you, I have to remind you, I have not been fucking with you, right? I got super bullish at 428.50. And then that confirmed at 543.14. Remember that price? And then what was that? 2 Wednesdays ago? Damn. That went, what was that? 2 Wednesdays ago when the market actually tried to stay down and we actually had a faux show, bro, intraday. I think it was way back 2 weeks ago, right? That was the real monstrous confirmation. There it is. There it is. There it is. The 468 area, right? Nope, that ain't it. It was, oh, well, that was another good Wednesday, but there was another Wednesday where we actually sold off. There it is. There it is. All right. Let's give it up for the GDP number. Right. That was GDP. Oh, by the way, let me end this video on YouTube with nobody gives a shit about recessions either. What is a recession? Classic definition. Do you guys know? It's 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. And who gives a shit? Right? How does that change your life? Hey, did you hear that the GDP had 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth? You don't say. Who gives a shit? Nothing changed. And that day, that was the GDP number. And that was a brief reminder that nobody gives a shit about GDP or recessions. Right? So that was the true confirmation of this bull market on 4/30, April 30th, 2025, when we faux show broed and ripped into the close. And we haven't looked back since. Then we gapped above that 478 area, which was a mini power gap. And then, of course, this monstrous power gap today, Monday. And now we're just, nobody's selling, right? Nobody. And neither should you. So now just hold on to the dream. Minimum today we were looking for was 522 on the Qs. So here we are. I hope they leave a little bit on the table for you guys tomorrow. I'm just staying long. I got no choice. I'm probably not going to be here. I'm certainly not going to be trading from my car. So I'm coming in long. And I'm probably going to buy more before the day's over. So then I get the opportunity to sell the gap. And this is exactly how it's going to play out tomorrow. You ready? Either the market's going to start down. You're going to be like, I remember they tried to do this yesterday. And then we're going to sell off a little bit. We're going to faux show back above VWAP and rip. Or what I think is going to happen is we gap up, right? We do sell off. We break another low, which is also the fake out, shakeout, and then we rally. So either we're going to start lower and then go a little bit lower and inevitably go higher, or we start higher, which would be nice because if you're coming in long, you could sell some. That's why the fade happens. Sell some, don't sell it all, and you should be planning right now to hold the Qs not just for the rest of today, tomorrow, and over the weekend. Because chances are we're going to be higher Monday from where we are today. And now you just factor that all in. It has been the sickest move ever, right? This is the sickest 3-week rally I've ever seen. I thought I was done saying that. But this is sick. This is crazy. And we are legitimately due for a correction off this move. But it can't happen because of the power gap, and everybody's trapped on the wrong side of the market. So it's hard to want to keep buying, but you have to until it rolls over, and you're going to sacrifice some money, but you're doing it with profits, right? We're not just buying the Qs here for the first time at 521.43. Actually, what's really important? Pre-market lows today, right? Pre-market lows are below prior day VWAP. And today's actually, it really, oh my God, it's actually a Zach Hurwitz moment. Today's pre-market low is the 3-day VWAP. So if you guys are dying to sell and you have to sell, and if the market is selling off, that's our new generational low, 513.82. So tomorrow, assuming we stay up, look at 3 days worth of VWAP. That'll probably spit out, it'll be roughly 514.25, 514.40 most likely. 13. What's 18 plus 13 divided by 2? 18 plus 13 is what? 131 divided by 2, 15. So tomorrow's prior day VWAP would be around 515.35. And that'll be the where you have to, get out. Because listen, here's another trade I was in, Core Weave, right? And when the stock was at 71 earlier, there's no reason to sell it, right? And then it rolls over. And then it breaks the pivot point. Then you sell. Who cares? And look, it wasn't a bad sell. The way you stay in this business, as long as I have, you have your expectations, you have your speculation, and then you have what is happening. That's why today is so wonderful, because what I expected to happen happened, and I made money, right? But I didn't expect CoreWeave to roll over and die back to 67. So what happened? There it is. I got stopped out of my last 50 shares. Right there. And whatever. No one's selling. No one's selling all of it at the top. At 73, I'm thinking easy 75. Even on this pullback, I'm not selling. I'm not selling. And finally, I was like, 69.50. Boom, I'm out. And I could do it again. Same thing with Walmart. I've got no reason to sell Walmart now, right? Zero reason. And even they had a weird candle in there. That's weird. But you know where I'm going to sell Walmart? The same exact scenario. Right now, I don't expect it to go under 95, 91 even. And I'm going to let it breathe because I don't care at this point. I'm in the last lots, right? So 95.50 and the bottom of this range, which is the 95. Oh, wow. What a weird coincidence, because our stop earlier was 93.12. Now it's 95.12, I think. Nope, 95.14. So then you factor that shit in. As a matter of fact, let's not only just factor it in, sell. Right? You guys know about sell limits, right? Walmart, you could do a sell limit. Sell, stop becomes a market order. I try to avoid market orders. That's why I trade real stocks. And the Qs are selling off right now. I shouldn't have said anything, but you got to the 522. Maybe that's it for the day. And listen, like I said, I'm holding these. I only got 2 contracts. I want to pull back so I can buy. But great day. But anyway, the Core Weave, I'm out. And I only got 2 contracts. I'm holding these 2. I'm out of the stock already. That's how I paid for my contracts. But Walmart's the only thing I got left, right? So now I can look at the prior day VWAP. Even 100 shares, right? Even 100 shares. You should scatter your stop. Put 30 at 95.91. And, maybe the other 70, what you got left at the pivot point right underneath. So 95.12. If they come for you, so be it. They don't, you stay long. All right? All right. I'm going to go get some lunch. Dust off the old suit for the graduation. And if I have my way, I'm long Walmart for the rest of the day, not selling, holding it overnight, looking at it at $100 tomorrow. Same thing with the Qs, not selling, might get a pullback, looking for 528 tomorrow. All right, I'll revisit all this stuff later, but I got to get the fudge away from this desk for a little while. All right, be good, y'all. Goes for you too.